I'm with David Massey, a family law attorney at Massey & Massey in Thousand Oaks. David, with all the court backups and issues with getting hearings and child custody mediations, I've been recommending a private child custody mediator for issues that involve children, since the courts are setting them out, October?
Yeah, I mean, it's often 4 months before, if you file and request that the court determine child custody, you're not addressing that issue for 4 months from now just because of the backlog. And it's historically always been a delay because the courts meet with you have to meet with a court mediator.
Mm-hmm. And so now I've been recommending, let's see if there's a therapist that does these private ones outside of court. And I've had a pretty good luck with those. What have you seen in your experience?
Well, I like it a lot, and what's interesting is that the people go, well, how much does this cost? Because you have to pay this private mediator versus paying versus we don't have to pay the courts. But what I found is that in order for us to get that court date, we have to file the motion with the court. We have to have we make all the statements, and there's a cost to the client to do that. Well, if we funnel that cost over just to the mediator, it tends to be similar, and you didn't have to wait for 3 or 4 months. The nice part about a private mediation also is it's done in a therapist's office. It's not, and so if children are involved who are over the age of 6, it's not done, the kids don't have to go to the courthouse, which can be emotional for the parents and the children. And I really think that's a great benefit for the kids because they can talk to the therapist in a comfortable setting, and it's really good for the parents because they can talk in a comfortable setting.
Definitely, I agree with that. But if there's not a motion filed, would the mediator write up a recommendation just like at the courthouse?
Well, I've actually done it where we've signed the stipulation. There's a court order form that says we're going to do a private mediator, and we simply submit that. And so this way we don't have to have a motion before the court and the statements that sometimes agitate parents because one parent is talking about the other parent's skill. And so I file that, and then if for some reason they can't come to a resolution, that mediator makes a recommendation, and then we can simply file that recommendation with the court using the motion in that way and avoid the mediation process. Tends to work a little bit better sometimes. What I also like about that private mediation is sometimes they can do a meeting and then they can come back later and kind of reevaluate it. And so it's really done from a better mental health profession than what can sometimes be rushed at court. But both parties have to agree on that private mediator and that private mediator makes a recommendation. Without that, well, then we have the court process, which is successful, but it's a little better.
So what we've been talking about is private child custody mediation compared to a court-ordered child custody mediation. And a private child custody mediation is done by a therapist after the parties agree to use someone to make a parenting plan. So we would talk about with that therapist's custody, physical and legal, and also coming up with a custody schedule that may involve holidays, vacations, etc. And that is the difference between going to a private person or going to one that's appointed by the court. If you would like more information about child custody mediations, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to connect you with David Massey. Thank you.